Hello everybody, this is Sherry from djsundry.blogspot.com. Welcome to the first of at least an 8-part series. Now the reason it's going to be 8 parts is I am making a set of cards and I may actually turn it into 9 parts. We'll just have to see how the series goes. And the theme for this series of cards is animals. I'm going to be using animals on every single or fish or something on every single card for this series, and I'm going to finish it off by making a gift box to hold the 8 cards in so that I can give them as a gift. So let's get started on the first card. Now this I don't think the camera will pick up well because it's kind of a bright yellow color, but I'm using the Animal Kingdom Cricket cartridge for the first one, and on page 115 you see a snake, and I'm using 4 different cuts of this snake. I'm using the regular cut and the shift cut, and I cut those at 3 inches. I cut the regular one in black, and then I cut the overlay or the shift using the shift key in yellow, so I have a black and a yellow snake. And then I also use the border feature, and I cut a 1 1/4 inch border of the snake in black again, and again using the yellow as the overlay. So let's get started, and let's start with the inside of the card. Now to start with, I have a piece of standard craft cardstock. This is from the paper company, just something I picked up at Hobby Lobby or somewhere, and I cut it at 5.5 inches wide, and this is an 8.5 inch sheet of paper, and then I scored it at 4 1/4 to make my standard A2 size card. So for the inside, I have this kind of lime green paper. I've shown it recently on another video, but this lime green paper is just, it's a thinner paper, and I have no idea where I got it from. I've had it for a very long time, but I cut that at 5 1/4 inches tall by 4 inches wide, so just so I can finish off the inside of my card. So, and this is going to be a really super quick finishing job on the inside. Just line that up so it's kind of even. I just eyeball it, and then I have my border cut here, and this is the snake. And I use my Xyron little 1.5 inch sticker maker, and I've already adhered the pieces together. So I have this border cut. Now, if you use a sticker maker, you know that a lot of times it leaves some of the debris in the blank spaces of the sticker. And so I try to, if I have time and if I can, I try to kind of push that all away before I ever adhere it, because it's much easier to get it. I just kind of move it over to the side so it just adds more adhesive to the back. It's much easier to do that than to try to get it so it doesn't show once it's already been adhered. So I'll just stick that towards the bottom here, just line it up. And that's all I'm doing to the inside of the card. I don't want to put a message in it. I want to have plenty of room for whoever receives this card that they can write a note. So now let's move to the outside of my card. I took the same color of green paper and I cut it to the exact same size. It's 4 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches tall. And then what I've done is I've folded down this top corner just like so. And actually, let's see, I'm going to be putting a button on it, and I want to put, maybe I'll just center the button over the top there, so we'll just leave it like that. So what I want to do so that this doesn't stick up is I do want to put a little bit of adhesive on that. This is the first time I've ever really done anything like this. I usually don't fold over, and I don't use a lot of buttons. I know some card makers love buttons, and I think they're cute. I just never think to incorporate them in my card. I guess I think of buttons when I think of sewing, and so I just don't think about it, but they do add a cute little dimension. So I'm going to line that up like so and just adhere that down. The next thing I'm going to do then is I took this piece of stripe paper. Again, I have no idea where I got this stripe paper. It was just in my scrap bin. But I cut it also at 4 inches wide, and I cut it actually a little bit taller than I would like it to be. No, I think that'll be fine. I cut it about 3 inches tall, and I'm just going to adhere that down to the bottom. I'm just bringing in some extra colors just to make this card a little bit more fun. And we will just take that all the way to the bottom of the green and just line it up. And then again, pulling from my scraps, I cut another piece of red cardstock, and I cut this at about a quarter or 3/4 of an inch wide. And then I took my Fisker Sentimental Scallop punch, and I just punched along the edge, and we'll just adhere that down. So you can see we're just kind of building up layers, but not adding a whole lot of dimension. Oops. Get that quite straight. And then that's a little bit too wide, so we'll just trim that off of the edge just a bit. There we go. Okay, so now the stamp that I'm going to use, I have the All About Animals set from K.Andrew Designs, and I actually will be using this set for quite a few of the cards in this series, but the one that I am doing says Sss Up, kind of like what's up. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a black ink pad. I thought about maybe red, that would tie in the red a little bit more, but I just wanted that little black element to pop. And I'm just going to kind of center that up here in the corner, just like so. And it says, "What's up?" Just a fun little cheerful card. Just doesn't, you could use it if you wanted for a birthday or something, but you wouldn't have to. And then I have my snake. Now I cut my snake, as I mentioned before, at 3 inches. And he was on black, and then I went over the top in white. Now the problem with that is the snakes don't have black tongues, so I'm going to show you in a few minutes what I'm going to do to fix that problem. So I'm just going to put my snake down there, and I've already put him on foam tape so that I could do that. And then we're going to take my little button, and I think I'm going to center it kind of over so it overlaps between the green and the brown, just like so. Now before I put the button on the glue dot that I used, I took a piece of honeydew twine from the twinery, and I ran that through it kind of to make stitching in the button. So now there's just a couple more things to do to finish this card, and you can see how quickly it went together. I took Midnight Stickles and I took candy cane stickles, and we are going to turn his tongue red with the candy cane stickles. Now it'll be a little bit more muted of a red. It won't be like a bright red tongue, but it will then, at least we'll be able to see that his tongue is red and not black. If you were doing this snake in other colors, maybe you could do the bottom layer red instead of black, and then if you wanted the black, you could do a shadow of black. I just chose to do the black and add some stickles for the tongue. And then his eyes don't really show up as much as I would like, so I'm just adding some Midnight Stickles for eyes. Now I looked and looked to see if I had any Google eyes. I love Google eyes, and this would be the perfect card for Google eyes, but I didn't. My Google eyes were all too big for the snake. And so there we have our snake card, What's Up, and then on the inside it's all finished. So thanks for watching. Check back soon for the next video in the series of All About Animal cards. Thanks for watching and have a great day.